at 2-0. We thought Egypt were there. They kept hitting Argentina on the counterattack, but as ever, the champions summoning that will and that ability to go and get the goals and the chances to win the game.
I will say, Grella, you called it.
Yeah,
you called the comeback.
You could smell it. You could feel it.
He's called it. 2-0, nothing up, and he's saying, watch this game finish 3-2. And it did.
I just felt like Argentina just has the tools and the know-how and the fight and everything to go and get the game. And then also they have a guy named Lionel Messi that makes the difference when he plays. That first cross that he makes is inch perfect. The second goal, he's got to hit it on the half volley between two defenders, is crazy. So the third goal, shockingly, he's not involved in. Actually, I don't think. But what a performance, Argentina, from them. But obviously, we'll talk about the defensive woes. But them being a little bit weak defensively is asking the question of the attacking side of the game and saying, hey, can you do it at this level? And they answer. Can you do it at this level? And you answer. Can you do this? And they answer. So really, really incredible competitive spirit in this team.
Scary. That's the best way to describe them. Absolutely scary. I mean, we knew Argentina was going to be good, but to be this good still, 2-0 down, talk about nearly on your way out of the competition to come back and win 3-2, that's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. You talk about resilience and character, and I would say they're street smart. The way that they play, and I always say coming into this World Cup, I describe them as a pack of wolves. And you've got to give credit to Scaloni, the manager, and how he's got them together as a unit and how they play. Never say die attitude. Yes, we know they got Messi, can make something happen. But you've got to give credit to the rest of the team as well and everything that they do. You talk about Romero as the one who gets the goal. Obviously, Messi's cross. But it is absolutely scary just to see what they've just done. And it's not just the first time. It's also that they did it against Cabo Verde is another one as well. So they've had two amazing games where they keep showing us everything. And we talk about the love of the game of football. You can't just rely on athleticism. Quality shines through in the end. Messi has the quality, but all the other players know their part that they play in. They all play their role for the same one goal. And that is what is scary about this Argentine side.
And we're hearing, sorry, Jen, we're hearing that Lionel Messi is really emotional after this game, in tears. We know, obviously, the situation that's going on with his father that has affected him at points of the tournament, but you just kind of feel like this might be his last stand. This might be his sort of last chance to do this, and that is also, I imagine, going into his thinking right now.
I think when you're 2-0 down, 100%, if you are in that position, obviously we can say whether it may or may not be his last World Cup, however far they get to, but when those start to creep in and the emotion, we all know knockout games are such highly strung emotionally games anyway, but when you are 2-0 down and those start to creep in, could this be my last World Cup? What he's gone through personally, you know, to come back and to win it in the way that they did and not even go into extra time this time. They got it done in normal time. So credit to absolutely everyone. You see how much it means to the entire squad, not just Messi, but we've seen a lot of emotions this World Cup at end of games with legends that may or may not be retiring, but to see him still progress, I didn't want to see him go out. I wanted to see Argentina progress, and credit to him. He's just in a league of his own, in my opinion. Grella summed it up. Part of goals still. Whether he, is consistently in the game over 90 minutes or not, doesn't matter. He comes up in the perfect moments. The goal taken out of the air, the amount of people that would sky that over the bar, and he just managed to get over it controlled in the moment when his team needs him the most. He does it every single time.
Imagine being a Ronaldo fan the last 24 hours.
Yeah, tough scenes. And I will say though, in the first probably 70 minutes of the game, I was just looking up some of his figures in the game. He was dispossessed 6 times in the game. He misplayed 9 passes. He wasn't flawless. Yeah. But then, as you say, coming up in that moment, which actually was one of the criticisms of him as they got eliminated in Champions Leagues in sort of the mid part of the 2010s, was not coming up in those moments. But these last 2 World Cups, time in and time out, he's been up for the occasion.
I love you, Willie. I love when you come out. I love when we go down the stats road. It's so funny because it's just, as ex-players, I never ever thought that. Whenever I came across top world-class talent, I didn't care if they gave the ball away 10, 12 times again. Like, that never would come into our mindset as players. We just knew, you just better be ready, because when that moment comes, he's going to take it. And there's so many times we've all been involved in games where you hear about these great teams or these great players, and they do nothing for 90 minutes. But guess what? When that moment came, they take their goal, they score the goal, and everyone talks about what they did. And then we played on the pitch saying, but he didn't do nothing for 70 minutes. It doesn't matter. That's Messi. So I don't care how many times he gives the ball away. He can give it away every single time. But you better believe the moment that counts the most, he'll be the one that scores, or he'll be the one that steps up when it matters. And that's what happens when you're talking about special players, the very, very top 1%. That is what they've done the entirety of their career. That when it matters the most, that's when they step up.
He's a Joker in the Dark Knight, you know, when they got him locked up in the jail and you got him there in front of you and you're good. You got all the security there. You know he's got the guy that's going to hurt you, but you got him for 70 some odd minutes. You've got him comfortable. You got him in front of you. You got guys marked, and then inch perfect cross for Romero, right? Like, those defenders were close. Like, you're defending, you could act,
right.
what do they tell you? Arm's length when you're defending, right? Or you know, beat tight. Those defenders had an arm's length on Romero, but the ball is so perfect, goes over the first defender's head, just enough for Romero, and then the finish on the second one is incredible. And you know it's going to be him. I was saying at halftime, he's going to hurt. That guy's going to hurt you. That guy's.
He didn't say to smell his breath.
And they didn't. And Egypt knew, and everyone knows. The world knows.
But okay,
and who hurts you? Lionel Messi.
But look where
he's
he was
out
at
of
as well.
Out of this world.
For that cross, though, look where he's at, though. You think, again, like you said, you think you've done enough.
Yeah.
But it's the quality aspect of the cross. Like, it's a world-class.
And maybe we'll talk about the U.S. Maybe we'll talk about the U.S. But that's what they're missing. They don't have the quality with the ball.
Of Messi, most teams don't.
Yeah, I mean, but even that, though.
The detail with the ball.
Of course, of course.
Look at the winning goal. Martinez's ball as well. That is a world-class cross. Pinpoint, accurate. Fernandez heads that. That was just like a jaw-drop moment. And again, it's the quality aspect. There's only so much you can rely on. Oh, work hard, run, this, that, and athleticism.
Correct.
Yeah,
when you get to the highest level, your quality is going to be called into play. Every player that went through it, you know, we went through it when I was criticised, you never be good enough, yeah? You start learning about that. Quality at the highest level is what's going to count.
And Messi delivered at exactly the right time.
Yeah, no, I like that third goal as well, because Yasser, I think, I was talking to you about this, Grella, off air. He's constantly looking his shoulder, and you guys are talking about the perfect cross, because that defender, Yasser, in the third goal, constantly looking over his shoulder. I think he looks 2 or 3 times to see where his player is. But because the cross is so perfect, he still knew exactly where the player is, but the cross completely beats him for the third goal. So, no, you're spot on. And yes, Messi did pop up in the right area.
And I guess from an Argentina standpoint, we saw there in one of the YouTube comments, and please do get involved in the YouTube comment section, Argentina are going to win the World Cup, someone said. Whew. Do you think that even though they pulled off the comeback, even though they survived against Cabo Verde, that they are riding their luck a bit here, and that at some point this is going to catch up to them?
I admire it, and I think, you can't keep going in this way. And I think also you look at the defensive frailties that they showed today as well. And again, my favourite to win the competition, the most talented team is France. Oh. And France's strongest point is their attack. And will Argentina's defence be able to hold up against Mbappe, Doué, Barcola, or Olise, whoever starts for that French team? I think that's going to be a real test for them if they get there. But I can't not see a rematch of last year's
Well, they're on
final.
the England side, aren't they?
Yes. So if Argentina win today, they'll face the winner of Colombia and Switzerland in the quarterfinal. And then if they win that game, they'll face the winner of Norway and England in the semifinal.
Semifinals, yeah, that would be a good one. I mean, Argentina-England is always a firecracker. There's a lot more than football there with that game there. I would say it would be a great game. I wouldn't bet against England. I would not bet against England.
I think the one thing for Argentina is obviously defensively. We talk about how good their strengths are going forward, but looking at how good Egypt were with their counter-attacks and how fast they were getting forward. I joked at one point that the players around Salah didn't even look the quickest. Everyone else was so athletic. And I think that was the one point, exactly to your point now, is coming up at the likes of a potential France. Yeah. If that's Olise, if that's Mbappe coming forward, that is a real threat that can pose Argentina a lot of problems if that happens.
Because what they do is, Jen, they try and go into these one-on-one situations, and most of the teams they face, they've dominated. But now with the athleticism that Egypt showed today, and they're showing if you can carry that ball and if you can beat 1 or 2 Argentinian players, you're going to cause them a lot of problems because they're just not that athletic or dynamic enough to live with really athletic players who are technically good. And we saw that all the problems that Egypt caused Argentina today was someone dribbling with the ball and taking 2 or 3 players on. They can never get into a shape.
I think bookies coming into the tournament, France, Spain, England, everyone talked about them. We even downgraded Argentina I actually don't think Argentina are very good. I watched them defend against Cabo Verde, not good. I just watched them now against Egypt, not good. They get bailed out a little bit with a soft foul for sure, but a soft foul. A lot of workers around Messi, relying a lot on Messi to create the moment. For sure, if Messi doesn't find that first cross, time starts running out quick for Argentina. So I don't think they're the best team. When you still mention the teams of Spain, France, England, I don't think. But how could I sit here and say Argentina will not win the World Cup or not likely to win the World Cup when they have the little magician there? That guy is not from this planet. I don't care if you look at his goals or what metric you want to look at. That guy is not from this planet. The way he's able to, at his age, by the way, he's old now.
38.
At his age, able to make the difference. I mean, how can you bet against him? If you bet against him, you're out of your mind.
Sorry, I was wrong. He's 39.
Well,
he just turned 39.
I'm sure he'd be offended if you call
39.
him little as well, little magician. He's a big magician.
I mean,
Yeah.
In footballing words, he's a giant. Don't
Okay.
call him little, he's a giant.
But we have to
he's
talk.
whatever you want to call him, he's amazing.
We have to talk about the one or two controversial points in this game, and you alluded to it. One is the goal that Egypt hit on the counterattack. They take off 15 seconds after a challenge. They go and score. They go back on VAR and disallow it for a foul in the build-up for a step from the defender, Lisandro Martinez. First off, do we think that was a foul? Should that goal have been disallowed?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think if it stayed as a goal, it would have been one of the best goals of the tournament in
Yes.
terms of a counter-attack, but it starts from a foul. I know it might be soft. Nigel's facial expression is disagreeing, but it's a foul. He stands on his foot. It's a foul.
Jen, how many times have you had your foot trod on?
Plenty of times, but if you slow it down in those moments,
Oh,
it's
when
a
it
foul.
slows down, it looks worse, but you've had it plenty of time and no fouls given,
Or
right?
I've done the stamp.
Okay, there you go. That's my point, see? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think VAR should have gone that far back for that for me. I don't think that's what VAR was brought in for. You know, this happens. Football's a physical sport. These type of situations happen. I don't like it. I think that the goal should have stood. That's my opinion on it, because I think that VAR, this goes back into trying to make an imperfect game perfect. And if that's the situation, we saw it all coming together before Argentina got their winning goal.
Yes.
With Mo Salah in the box. And then that wasn't really shown too much in the replay. Very similar situation. He gets his ankle
I
kicked
didn't
and he
think that
goes
was a
down.
foul. Did you think that one was a foul?
I mean,
Mo Salah.
on the
I didn't
first
think that
one,
was a
I
foul.
think that I think they set a precedence for when they gave that first
Yeah.
one, that they could give that one easy. Because if Mo Salah loses his foot and his ankle gets kicked in the box, then that's a foul.
And didn't replay
And that's a
it.
problem. But if that was left normal, I don't think there would have been too much complaints from real football fans to say, oh, that's a foul. Because even after the initial incident, Argentina had 4 or 5 players who could have won the ball or won a tackle, and they didn't. It was a great goal by Egypt, and for me, I just don't like VAR being brought in for something that far back.
Yeah.
I'm just against it.
Grella, do you think it was a foul?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a referee, right, in a day and age, and maybe the world's always been like this, but in a day and age where liability is a big thing, right? That's why we all have insurance, because you just don't know what's going to happen. The referee can't look at that play and say it's not a foul.
Yeah.
Because the image is there, and then people will say, well, the image is there, so how can you explain it? He can't go back and say, oh, it's soft. So he doesn't want to be liable for that moment. So the image is there. And whether you like it or not, in today's game, that's a foul, because not only he stomps his foot, but he also pulls his shirt. So it's a foul. Now, I think what Nigel's alluding to, and I think this is an important point too, is that the VAR was never brought in to do that, right? So now there's like 2 camps forming. There's people that hate VAR and then people that think VAR has made the game better, right? I think VAR is a very useful tool. I just think that the way they write the rules and the way they're using it currently is not consistent across the board, and that's causing a lot of the discrepancies and a lot of the problems that we're having. They don't know when and how to use it. It's getting used sometimes, not getting used other times. And like I mentioned to you earlier, to everyone, the chip in the ball, is there a chip in the ball or not? I mean, we cover football for a living. I don't know. Is there a chip in the ball? Like,
Yes, there's a chip in the ball.
but only when they want the chip in the ball. And then when it rains, does the chip work? So I think the technology is ahead of what we're able to, how we're able to apply it to the game, if that makes any sense. So I think the technology is ultimately good. I think that the way we're using it maybe can be improved.
And I also think as well, just from a spectator standpoint, there are people who are watching this game that want to be entertained and that see a goal scored by Egypt.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant underdog story and a brilliant move. And it just feels like everything about VAR and the technology used is to take things away, take goals away and entertainment away rather than add. even just the idea of the way that they have written the rule for, we can look on VAR if a corner was given wrong, but we can't look on VAR if a goal kick was disallowed wrong. It's about taking things away rather than adding to it. I think everyone watching that game is going, we're really going to go back and ruin that moment over this kind of challenge? I think it was a foul. And ultimately, Egypt went 2-0 up in the game anyway. They went and scored a few minutes later, and I don't think that the same players in the same kind of sequence. And ultimately, Egypt, you would think from 2-0 would sit in no matter what. But we don't know how the game plays out if that original goal stands.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just with Grella, exactly what Grella said there for me. I just think it's just going too far back. It's a useful tool, VAR, but it's how you use it, how you imply VAR in the footballing world. And I think there's a lot of football fans who would be saying, okay, the referee missed that one, no problem. It's not a major foul or incident, but to go that far back and take the goal out, and you talk about emotions, we all know about the momentum, how momentum shifts, and Egypt score that goal. Who knows what could happen? I know obviously Argentina still came back to win 3-2, but it's in the moment, and that can be affecting the players as well. But for me, I don't like it being implemented and used in that manner.
The Croatia one was ludicrous. The Croatia one. Oh, now all of a sudden there's a chip in the ball. I didn't get I must have missed the memo.
Do you want to cut into that ball and see if there's a chip in there?
That one was crazy.
And the ball doesn't move. And then it's I don't care if you're a Croatia fan or if you're or a Portugal fan. I don't care. If you were a football fan that day, 2-2, free football coming next, like you're in the World Cup. Yeah. Amazing moment. Everyone's jumping. What a goal. Croatia's back in it. Modric against Ronaldo. Wow. The chip in the ball that no one knew about is deciding that I don't know. And then again, like I said, Norway makes a defender makes a tackle on the Brazilian player, touches the ball, and they don't see the touch on the ball. Where's the chip then? I don't know. I think as well, technology, it just doesn't.
Don't worry, he took him out like a 4-truck after, but it's all right.
Touch the ball.
And I think as well, I mean, the history of Argentina, both at the last World Cup and the number of penalties that they got awarded, and also in this World Cup with the fact that the Messi challenge against Algeria was not given as a red, when obviously the Balogun one was given as a red, and then that one was rescinded. There are these sort of controversial moments, and it seems to happen a lot around Argentina. Right. I mean, it's just merely a statement of fact.
He's telling the truth.
Like, they're controversial.
Di Maria's penalty in the World Cup, Messi stomping the guy, the back of the guy's leg, and like you say, nothing's given for it. But then Balogun. The issue is not the technology. The issue is how we're using
the inconsistent application. But it's ultimately humans running it. We're all making decisions and judgment calls, and they think they're making the right call, but sometimes people think it's the wrong one.